Alright, I wanted to do kind of a quick unboxing for Rain of Missiles, the Gaza Missile Crisis, November 2012. I just wanted to take a look at it so that people kind of had an idea what they're buying. It comes in a folder sleeve, which is actually pretty cool. I was expecting like the 6x9 envelope. This actually works pretty well. You get everything unfolded. The cover artwork is absolutely beautiful. So if we slide that out there, that's all that is. It's just the cover, which is nice. You know, sometimes you see them where they're the back of the map, but this is actually pretty good. Here's the map, 11 by 17, folded in half, exactly what you would expect. Again, great artwork, kind of high level stuff, tracks, and then spaces. Everything's very clear what's going on. It does come with a random events table, which is page 6 of the rules, but I like that it's an additional one. It's also in the rules, but this way it's out on its own. You don't have to have the rulebook open. With the rulebook, it's 6 pages, but they're individually printed. It's not back to back, so I actually ended up scanning mine and printing them in like a booklet format. I like reading in a book format. This comes stapled up here. Not a big deal. Kind of easy workaround. Very clearly written. Very easy to get into. Easy to read. Everything's laid out in a way that makes perfect sense. I think maybe there were 1 or 2 typographical errors, but I mean nothing game-changing at all. Makes sense. Very clear. Designer notes, which are nice, especially you don't see them very much in desktop published games. Very cool. Also additional reading. I always love to see that in the rulebook. And then the main component actually comes, and it tells you on the website, this isn't anything that would come as a surprise. It's printed out onto cardstock, very glossy printing, very nice, but they come uncut, which is kind of why I wanted to show it now. I'll cut these out, get to know the game, and then come back and show how it's played. I wanted to come back and take a look at the gameplay of Rain of Missiles. Got it all cut up. The counters are actually really thick quality. I was surprised how thick they were, and they were actually a little tough to cut. So I ended up, I don't know if any of them are out. Some of them I kind of took a lot off trying to correct my what I did, and so that was kind of unfortunate. But anyway, very durable. The printing's all good, nice, glossy. It doesn't feel like it's going to wear off or anything. So we have the game set up. Well, I guess let's take a look at the map first. There are spaces here that correspond to things happening. Victory point, track for Hamas, which is the AI. Victory point track for the Israelis, the phase track, and then the impulse track. Each operations phase, there's 3 impulse phases, each of which the Israelis attack and Hamas attacks. This does follow up nicely. I just finished playing Heights of Courage, obviously a lot later timeline-wise, but similar combatants. This up here is the diplomatic track. Hamas starts at 8 to their good. The Israelis are at 9. The game ends when both of these chits are in the same space, and from what I'm seeing, it's somewhere in here. This will be my 5th time playing it. I think maybe 4th. anyway, I'm getting distracted by the game already. So the game ends when they're on top of each other, and then these are varying degrees of victory for either side. So, and this is one thing that the rules in the map don't match, which doesn't matter. You can figure out what it's talking about. It says dark green, but the dark green and dark blue would be major for either. It's transposed on the map, and the maps or the rules call out if they're in the white space, but it's black on the map. Again, it doesn't matter, but it's various things will move these either direction. More so, it seems, the Israeli player, or I guess the active player. The Israeli has. Let's look at this. Airplanes and drones. They can attack separately. I really feel like it's better to attack them together. The drones give a -1 modifier, and rolling low in this game is better. You're rolling on a D10, and zeros are always good. So that -1 is really nice. And we'll talk about why later. Then up here on the Gaza Strip, the setup is 16 missile sites. There's 3 different kinds of missile. There's a short-range missile that shoots into this green area. There's a mid-range that shoots into the white, and then a long-range that shoots into this orange region along the outside. And that the farther ranging missile actually shoots more, and has a better chance of hitting these big victory point spaces. So to set up, you pull out 16 from a cup, and then distribute them as evenly as possible. The Israeli player also has naval support, and they get to do an attack. So the way the phases break down, or the impulses, are the Israelis attack, and if I'm understanding the rules correctly, well, it actually says once these can be used once per turn. They get these to start off with. They're use them or lose them for this turn. So they have, I guess, as many as 16 here. Right? Is that right? Yeah, 16, and then 17 up there if they so choose. I usually end up doing 8. I always pair them together at the start of the game, because the Israelis, when they attack, it's almost always politically bad for them. I think 70% of the time something politically bad will happen for them. And as far as the attacks go, I think they have a 30% chance of doing damage. Yeah, between, I guess, 30 and these are a little bit higher for the long range missiles. So I don't see a reason to attack more. You want to use them, but you don't want to use. I think it's better to pair them, but maybe it's not. Also on the map here are these iron domes, which are anti-missile missiles. So let's go ahead and get started. It's all set up. We're all good. So basically, the Israeli player. There's also on the map. There's Gaza City here, and then Khan Yunis right here. You can attack those cities independently of the missile sites, and they do different things. You get a victory point for hitting the Gaza City, and then you can kill one of the future missile sites for hitting Khan Yunis. So what you do is you assign where you're going to attack. The F-15s and the F-16s act the same in the game. They're just 2 different pictures, I guess, to mix it up a little bit. And I guess it's historically accurate. But so you're supposed to assign all of your attacks before you do any of the attacks. So we'll do half of them. I think it's actually better to hit early, because if you do damage up front, these don't regenerate between the impulses. So if you can hit them early, it's better. So we'll actually put another one up there. So then we can take a look at these missile sites, and what we'll do is we'll assign 2 of our attacks against the Fajr 5s, the long-range missiles, and then do 1 against Gaza City. So then next, and I just rolled at the same time, but you roll a d6 to find out what the civilian casualties are, and that's where the political badness comes in, and then a d10 to find out what you do to the missile site. So on the d6, 1 to 2, minimal casualties, nothing happens. 3 to 5, moderate civilian casualties. The diplomacy will go that way, which is bad for the Israelis. If you roll a 6, you still do that, and Hamas gets a victory point because the casualties were too many. So then rolling on the d10, you get a -1 if it's with a drone, so that's good. +2 if it's at night, so I tend to not attack at night. I attack during the 2 daylight phases. So the d10 0 is excellent. It destroys the site, and the Israeli gets a victory point. A 1 damages the missile launch, and the Israeli gets 1. If they're damaged, they flip to their red side, and then they only can shoot 1 missile. They're also harder to hit at that point. If it's greater than 1 but lower than the combat factor of the site, it's flipped over, but no victory point. If it's greater than, nothing happens unless it's twice as much, and then you get to pick to either move the Israeli that way, move the Hamas. See, I think that might be wrong, because the rules say counterclockwise, but that's actually hurting. I think this should also be counterclockwise. I think it's supposed to help them, or Hamas gets 1 victory point. That might be a typo in 7.1.1. And then I already talked about the cities. So I just roll here 4. Let's see. So we lose a diplomacy point, and we rolled a 3. And we're doing that one. I didn't mention that, but so that actually does damage it, but we don't get a point. And that's about how these shake out. We'll do the next one on the other launcher. We got a 1, which is excellent. 4, though, they're nothing. Oh, that's actually going to be a 3. I forgot my modifier. And then for Gaza City, we do the same thing. 2, which is good. That's going to be a 2, so that's going to hit, which is excellent. So we got a victory point there. I'll continue these. I'm moving the camera a lot, and I don't want to do that. So we're at 8 diplomacy, 1 victory point. I'm going to finish this attack. We'll come back and see what happens for the Hamas turn.